It's Friday, Feedback Friday, the feedbackiest day of the week. Ha! There we go, Feedback Friday. Mostly healthy again. I have not managed to get back into my exercise routine yet, but feedback. Momo Monday's feedback this week just reminded me of the overwhelming emotional maturity of the core viewership of this channel, and it is exceptionally humbling. The fact that people are willing to go there in comments about personal stuff, about family and things like that, even under pseudonyms. It doesn't matter. It's a consistent pseudonym, and so people can track your comments, and it just that takes a strength, that takes a bravery that a lot of people I don't think appreciate. Family is a really sensitive thing, and a willingness to talk about that in the public space is it takes a lot of guts. But one commenter asked me who's who in the Kittens, and yeah, there's a lot of them, so it's hard to tell them apart. So here's the who's who guide for the Kittens. Scout is the stockiest one. He's the most solid. We call him the French bulldog cat, and he hates it because he does have markings and a giant head like a French bulldog. Midna has similar markings, but if you look at Scout, he's more black. If you look at Midna, she's got those sort of almost geometric patterns running down her back and side, which is where her name came from. I looked at this cat and it looked like she was wearing the helmet from the imp version of Midna from the Legend of Zelda games. And the white tummy and the black flanks and all that stuff. I'm like, you're Midna. And be very, very careful what you name your kittens, because she is very much a sassy imp. But yeah, you can tell them apart by Midna has more geometric patterns. She also has a more triangular, smaller head than Scout does, and slightly greener eyes, but the kitten's eyes are still changing, so that's not a firm marker yet. Link got his name because Link is our little Bishi cat. I looked at him, and he's such a pretty cat that my mother initially thought he was a girl and named him Misty. And Momo knows something about that. Momo's original name was Megan. We don't talk about that. But yeah, I'm like, what's a Bishi name? And so Link it was, because I thought he always has this face that reminds me of Link in the games, like, huh? You know that when Link's like, ah? And he does that. It's like Link goes through life going, this is awesome, that was awesome, or this is gonna be awesome. And when something bad happens, Link looks like, I'm not sure how that was awesome yet, but I'll figure it out. Link is one of the happiest little cats. But yes, he's the one that's most white in the face. He's the only one with a majority white face. Now, the two black ones are more difficult to tell apart. Zelda is the one the person asked who just stares at things for the longest time. And she's got, like, as a person said, this is the coolest shit ever face. And yeah, that's very much Zelda. And part of the reason that Zelda got her name is that, first of all, Link's and Zelda Midna. Yeah, it made sense. But she is very still in a lot of ways, and then she picks her moments. Zelda is also the one that really likes shiny things. I finally saw Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and she, I swear, is part Niffler. Anything shiny, foil balls, jewelry, everything like that, she's into it. But the way you can tell Zelda is Zelda's the one of the black cats who's got a tiny little white under her chin. She also has a smaller, more triangular face, and she's the one that looks like she's probably giving you cut-eye or figuring out how to kill you in your sleep. As opposed to Bobby, who is bigger. Bobby's getting so big that we're confusing him with Binky. But he's got wider eyes. He's got a rounder upper head. But the easiest way to tell him from Zelda is he's got thinner fur between his eyes and his ears. Some darker cats have that, and that's the best way to tell at a glance whether that's Bobby, is if you can see sort of skin poking through him between his ears and his eyes. That's Bobby. That's not Zelda. Also, if the cat doesn't look like it wants to murder you in your sleep, or at least likes to know it can, then that's Bobby. Bobby is, we call him Bobby Big Eyes. Give him a gangster name. We're getting volume discounts at the vet at this point. I said to somebody, you know, they said, would you like a donation to an animal charity this year? I'm like, at this point, we are an animal charity. But they're working animals because of Momo Monday. And people who said that some people are confused by the serious topic and the cute. Other people understand that, first of all, if you're watching with headphones at the office, then somebody comes by, you're just watching a cat video, right? Like, people understand that. But also, I thought it was a way to sort of juxtapose potentially difficult content with something cute. Because I really find that the best way to deal with this stuff is to not get too far down in the emotional wood chipper over it. You need to be able to talk about it with a certain amount of buoyancy, and walk away feeling good, feeling lighter, as opposed to feeling heavier. And I mean, my personal journey about the whole thing is so many of these supposed self-helps and therapies and all of these sort of conventional modalities. I walked away just feeling awful. I felt like the weight of the world was on my shoulder, and it was all this, oh God, I got all this extra work that I have to do on top of everything else. And I found that if it's fun work, if it's cute work, if it's joyous work, then it's easier. And so Momo Monday was born. And of course, there's Lagarto, Delilah, Binky, and of course, his fluffiness himself. But they're a lot easier to tell apart than a pile of kittens with only tiny differences between them. So that's your guide. Hope you enjoy. Continuing Feedback Friday in a second video where I actually get to your comments for the week.